guys, welcome back to Tay Deco. My name's Taylor. I'm a part-time Poshmark reseller and I have some super exciting news. I just hit $100,000 in sales on Poshmark. I am so happy because this has been such a goal of mine for a while now, and just seeing that number just makes me feel so good because I didn't think that this little side hustle was gonna turn into this, but I just feel so blessed and so accomplished that I was finally able to hit that milestone. So in this video, I'm gonna share my whole Poshmark journey. I'm gonna share my numbers. We're gonna deep dive into all the things. I'm gonna share some strategies, some tips, things that worked, things that didn't work, lessons learned, everything in this video. So if you're just starting out on Poshmark, or even if you're aiming for a new milestone, there's definitely gonna be some tips in this video so it can help you with your reselling business. Okay, so let's get started on how my Poshmark journey began. So I actually started selling on Poshmark in 2016, and I was just selling my own stuff. I was selling my husband's things. The big thing was he lost a bunch of weight. He started going down in weight or in sizes, and we would buy clothes at different sizes and he would be wearing them for not a long time. And then I would be like, oh my gosh, this doesn't even fit him anymore and it's brand new, I just bought this. So then I started listing them on Poshmark just to make some extra income and get rid of those items, because we basically had to change his wardrobe a few times. So we just had a lot of men's clothing. And I did that for a few years where I was just selling our own clothes from our own closets. And also, I just want to make it clear that this is $100,000 in sales on Poshmark. So this includes the Poshmark fee that I paid out to Poshmark. This isn't my take-home pay. I just want to make that clear. So one day in 2021, I went into a thrift store and I started shopping around for me, just kind of poking around, looking, and I noticed there was like an item. I think it was like, this is when Victoria's Secret pink was big or something. So it was something like that. And I was like, oh, this is like $2.99, but I know if I sold this on Poshmark, I could make a little bit of extra money. I was like, I'll just buy this and see if that works. I don't even know. Like, I just thought of it in my head. I didn't even know that it was like a thing that people were doing. So then I brought it home, took pictures, and it sold. So then I was like, this is weird. I can make a profit off of this stuff. So then I went on YouTube and I just searched Poshmark reselling, like how to make money on Poshmark. And I came across, I think Mogi Beth was the first channel I watched, and she was doing a haul. And so I kind of like binge watched her videos, and then I was watching a lot of McThriftsy. So I was watching her videos and I was just learning a lot. So then I would go to the Goodwill and I was paying, you know, at the regular Goodwill for items. And I think I ended up having like 100 items in my closet at one point. And this is when I was manually sharing items still. So I was going in to each item, you know, edit, share each one. And it was taking so much time. And Mogi Beth was talking about, you know, Posher VA, and she had a code for like a free month. So I was like, this was July 2021, and I signed up for Posher VA, and that just changed my whole business because it was automatically sharing. I wasn't having to go in every day or every other day and share my closet. I was sharing it a few times a day because I just had 100 items. So that year in 2021, my sales were $13,943.70. That was from July onward, the bulk of that. That's when I started to really see like profits, and like I scaled it more. So then I would just buy a lot more. And then I went to the bins and I filled up my cart. Well, actually the first time I went to the bins, I was like so overwhelmed, and I just went in and I like looked around and I was like, no, I'm not doing this. And I left. And then like maybe a month later, I went in again and I tried it, and then I found some things. Then I started getting the itch to go back and back because I kept finding things and it was getting addicting, obviously. That's what happens. So at that point, I was just printing off my labels with like a regular printer, like cutting them out, like making my packages, doing all that. And I had like a corner of my basement where I had like a few bins and like a clothing rack. So it wasn't like too crazy. Then in 2022, I was like, okay, I'm gonna like see how much money I can make doing this and like kind of go all in. So then I was just picking up from the bins. I might have gotten a few boxes from like ThredUp. I would go to regular Goodwills every once in a while, but I really try to stick to the bins because the cost of goods is so low. And my bins actually has pretty decent things that go through there. I'm pretty lucky with that. I feel like a lot of people will spend a lot sometimes and they're not making as much as they could, but I really try to keep that cost of goods low because I want to make as much profit as I can on each item. So I really try to just stick to the bins. But you know, every once in a while I'll go out to regular Goodwills or I'll buy like a ThredUp box or whatever. So in 2022, I started to, you know, really take it on to the next level. I bought a Dymo printer and it was like $300 and I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. I'm spending $300 on this like printer for this side thing that I don't know, you know, if it's gonna work out the way I want to. But it ended up being such a great purchase because I love that thing. And I just think it's so, like, I remember getting it in the mail and being like,
oh my God, I can't believe I spent $300 on this.
And then I also bought umbrella lights because I was taking photos in the winter time after work and there was no light at 5 o'clock. So I needed some light to take photos. So I bought big box umbrella lights. I'm pretty sure I got these from Mogi Beth as well. I like anything she recommends. I'm like, okay, it must be good. Even my rolling racks that I have downstairs, they're like the nice steel ones. They're not like plastic that are flimsy. Those I think are from Mogi Beth as well. I started buying like like that kind of stuff, like putting money into the business, I guess. So that was like a big deal to me to do that. 2023 was kind of the same. I kind of made the same amount. And then 2024, maybe I slowed down a little bit. You can see on my chart that I, you know, kind of slowed down. I'm not really on track to make as much as I did in 2022 and 2023. And I think a lot of that is because on my end, I wasn't listing as much. I wasn't listing as much as I was, you know, oh no, I guess I was. It says in 2022, I listed 1,060 items. In 2023, I listed 1,225, and then 2024, I listed 1,379. So I actually listed the most this year, but I've been making less than I did last year and the year before. So that's pretty interesting. So I have a little bit over a month left in the year. You know, I don't expect to make the same amount that I did last year or the year before, but I'm still happy with this year. I definitely was not sharing as much, like pushing, you know, going into Poshmark and pushing share as religiously as I had been in the past. I was taking more time, like I was doing more bulk listings in one day. So before I would do like, 4 listings a day, like in 2022, 2023, I was doing like 3 to 4, maybe 5, 6 listings every day or close to that. This year I would do like 20 listings on a Saturday. So it wasn't as spread out as it was in the past. And I really think that that was a good thing to do, to spread them out like that, just based on my sales. So I feel like that's a good tip. Okay, so I'm gonna go over a few tips if you're just starting out your reselling business. These are just some tips that helped me. The number one thing that I think everybody should know is
stop sharing other people's items on Poshmark.
It doesn't do anything. I have barely shared anybody's items and I'm doing okay with my sales. Like, you don't need to share other people's items. Stop doing it. I promise it's a waste of time. You're just sharing them to your home page. It's not getting shared into the search of Poshmark. It's just getting shared into the home page, which nobody looks at. So that is one of my biggest tips, is stop sharing other people's items. Just share your own items. That's all you really need to focus on when it comes to sharing. I don't spend any money on shipping supplies. Well, I do buy tape. that's it. I think that's the only thing I do buy is tape. I don't like wrap every item. If I order something on Amazon and there's packaging inside, I put it aside and I'll use that, like reuse it. But I don't like put money into like stickers, cards, that kind of thing. Because again, I'm just trying to have my cost of goods and everything so low so that I can make as much profit as possible to make this worthwhile. And another tip would be to learn, educate yourself about what's selling, what the market looks like. Go to Nordstrom, walk around, look at the brands, feel fabrics, go to all the different places in the mall, look online, really educate yourself on what is hot right now, what's selling. Follow people that are in the fashion world so that you're familiarize yourself with the different brands and the styles that are in. Guys, binge watching YouTube videos and like just educating yourself and like learning from people that have made a lot of sales. That's what helped me the most. That is like a big tip that I would give to people that are just starting out. You have to be like an expert in clothing and materials, sizes, all the different brands that there are. Like you just need to know so much about it. And you have to want to know it too. Like you have to find it interesting. Like I like fashion. I like to know what's hot, what's selling. So that was just interesting to me. So I liked watching people's thrift hauls. So checking comps. Checking comps is so important when you are listing because you don't want to overprice, you don't want to underprice, and then you want to make sure that your item is selling. So when I say checking comps, it means that you are looking at your item or like something that's pretty close to it and looking at the sold prices and seeing what they're selling for, making sure that it is like in demand and it's selling for a good price. So not having a good inventory system definitely makes it more complicated and like it just makes it you don't feel motivated to go get the inventory when you know that it's a mess down there. What I do, and it works pretty well for me, is I have different bins and I have the number list, just a random number listed on each bin. And then in my listing on Poshmark at the end of my description, I just put the bin number. So when something sells, I just go into that listing and then I just see, oh, this is in bin 693. I go to bin 693, dump it out. Sometimes it's on top if I'm lucky, and I get the item and then it's ready to be shipped. You know, and my inventory system is not the best compared to others that I see. There's people, if you just Google Poshmark inventory systems or resell inventory systems, people have made this like an art form where they're so organized and it's like everything looks so beautiful. Mine is not that perfect. I think it's pretty good, but it's not anywhere near to some of the inventory systems I've seen on other YouTubers' channels. That's a project that I want to do in the future actually, is like redo my inventory system. But right now I have about 800 active items, so it's just like such a project for me to do that. But one day I would like to revamp that. Maybe I'll do like an inventory audit or something like that for a video in the future. Lessons learned for me is I did try doing Whatnot and I liked it. It was fun, but the items were going for so cheap that it just wasn't worth it in the end. You really have to have a following to be a live seller, I think personally. I mean, you can still make money doing it that way and you could build a following, but I was just going through so much inventory when I tried to do Whatnot. Like I would go to the bins, fill up my cart, sell it all for cheap, go to the bins, you know what I mean? It was just so time consuming, and I just feel like for me what worked best was just listing the items on Poshmark. I was seeing more reward for each item versus selling it on live auctioning. So, I mean, not that I won't do it again because I really did enjoy it. Like I liked being on camera and like talking about my items and interacting with the chat and things like that. Like it is fun, but I just didn't see it as a consistent process for me. So yeah, live selling, I mean, I know people, they do fantastic with it and that's like the route that they go and that's great. It just wasn't working for me. Maybe if I did this full time, I would incorporate that a little bit more into my business, but it didn't work out for me as a part-time reseller. So the hard things with reselling is definitely like the monotony of it, taking photos, creating these listings. I've sold over 3,000 items. So I've created over 3,000 listings on Poshmark. I mean, it gets pretty monotonous, but you get into such a rhythm and it's such a habit that I can like create a listing so quickly now. And I know the keywords so well that a few years ago, it would take me way longer than it does now. I noticed that whenever I thrift things that aren't as exciting, that it makes me not want to list it. So I really try to source things that are things that I get excited about and I really like and I really enjoy, because then it makes it more exciting to like create the listing and do that. It's the little things that matter. Okay, that's it, guys. That is how I hit the $100,000 mark in sales on Poshmark. So whether you're just starting out or if you're aiming for your next big milestone in your reselling business, the key to success is consistency, staying motivated, and always learning. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. Please let me know what works for you guys, what doesn't work for you, how did you start your business? All of the things, so when somebody's watching this, we can look down in the comments and get more information. So thank you guys so much for watching and supporting my journey on YouTube as well, because that's a whole other thing that I've started. I can't wait to hit $150,000 in sales on Poshmark. That's my next milestone. If you like reselling content, then don't forget to hit the like button. Also, please subscribe to my channel if you want more tips and tricks for your reselling business. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Until next time, bye.